To truly appreciate Greater Sudbury, I knew I had to visit one of its outlying towns. So I hopped in the truck and headed up to Capriel, a small town with a big love for the railway. There, I chatted with former Capriel councilman and current president of the Railroad Museum, Stu Thomas.
Well, Capriel actually originated because of the railway. In 1915, the tracks were moved from the other side of the river to this side of the river, and it was made at what's called a divisional point. So it was the hub of Northern Ontario railroading.
So you guys are really just staying true to your roots. You try not to forget where you came from.
Well, we can't, because the rail still is the major employer for Capriel.
Yeah.
And without the rail, Capriel would never been here. And it's still, well, in my case, my daughter works for Via Rail, and my son works for CN. So, you know, the roots still go deep. Both my grandfathers were CN engineers. Yeah, it strikes a good tone.
It's in your blood.
Right.
In 2001, this area went from Sudbury to, it was all just called Greater Sudbury. And so there's a bit of a hard-hitting question, but why not go all the way, call it Greatest Sudbury? Don't you think that that's an option?
Well, because I guess there's only one Sudbury except in England and Massachusetts, yeah, so it wouldn't be the greatest Sudbury possibly. Possibly it would be. No,
I think it's important to be confident.
The city is trying to promote, and I'm glad that it's a community of communities.
Let's say you are the greatest Sudbury, this area. What would you say would make that true?
Well, because they have the greatest community in Capriel. We also have this museum, which is a very big draw and very important to the city of Greater Sudbury, and so we consider ourselves to be one of the upcoming communities and really moving along well.
Yeah, I can tell you've worked in politics before. That's the answer you look for. So the name for this specific museum is, can you give that to me?
Northern Ontario Railroad Museum and Heritage Centre.
Okay, and I was noticing there was a lot of places in this area all over that are the northern, there's Science North, or there's Health Sciences North. There's a lot of focus on the north. And I'm just wondering if you guys know that you're one of the furthest south cities in the whole country. I'm from Winnipeg, and we're the most southern city in Manitoba, and you guys are way south of us. To me, this is like the Bahamas as far as northernmost, southernmost. I'm really on vacation here.
Now, I didn't drive to the outskirts of Greater Sudbury just to look at the outside of a train. I wanted to dig a little deeper. So I enlisted the help of local tour guide Jordan.
Okay, this is definitely a train. So what's this? What's the deal here?
So this is actually the school car. So the first half is actually where the teacher and his family would live, and then the second half all the way down there is actually the school.
So wait, was this like a rolling school? Like this was
exactly
for like the kids? Oh, okay. And there's a zombie man or something. That's just to scare people who are walking through?
Well, so the kids don't use the toilets, mainly. But
Gotcha.
yeah.
That is, so it's essentially a scarecrow for children.
Yeah, more or less.
What are some of like the hot ticket items here?
I don't think you'll find some of the stuff we have here anywhere else in Canada. Just behind us, for instance, is a boxcar house. Back in the 20s and 30s, if you were a good worker for CN and they wanted to keep you, they would give you a boxcar. The other rolling stock we have, you can see it other places, but you can never see this much in one place, especially the two big engines we have. A 1944 locomotive, and we have recently redone a 1907 locomotive, which is just a piece of art. Right beside you, the Caboose, which kids can go right into and look and see a caboose.
Hey, real quick, just on the end of that, how do you feel about that being co-opted as a word for the human butt?
I actually gave a tour with people from not around Canada, like there in the States.
Yeah.
They had no idea that a caboose actually was referring to a train. So like, oh, why are we going inside of a butt?
That's unfortunate. Do you see the damage that you cause when people turn these fun-free words that just mean a part of a train and you turn it into something nasty? Look what it did for him. It almost got him a record as a sex criminal. We can't use that. All right, let's go look at the Caboose. Can a penny actually derail a train, or is that something my mom just told me to freak me out?
No. The threat with a penny is that if you put it on the rail, the penny will actually launch and hit something else.
Oh, so that is real.
So yeah, but it's not. The train will be fine.
Would you mind calling my mom and telling her that?
Sure.
Hey, Mom, remember the thing about pennies and trains? Well, guess what? I happen to be with an expert right now. Hold on. Okay, you gotta talk to her.
Hello? Yeah, so I'm told to tell you that pennies do not actually derail trains. Yeah, that's coming from me. I'm the alleged expert.
That's right. You should see his hoodie, Mom. There's a whole train thing on it.
It says staff, yes. Okay.
So, yeah, I guess you can't take a grounding back, but you owe me one. Okay, I love you too.